All right. Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Anna Raful. I'm your host of Camp Broadway's At This Stage. With our partners at Streamable Learning, I am so happy to be talking to you live from my apartment in New York City, connecting you with Broadway professionals, both on and off the stage, connecting them to you, our students, our teachers, our friends, and our family. We're so excited that you've joined us for the next 35 minutes or so. As I said earlier, start thinking of those questions. I promise to get to as many of them as I can and put them in our Q&A feature, and we'll get going. So I'm so excited to introduce you to our guest today. Our guest is Michael Kushner. Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, yeah, this is very exciting. Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime. I'm going to give a little bio for those of us, I know a lot of it, but let me share with everybody. So Michael is one of New York's leading multi-hyphenates, which I think is the best way to explain you. Michael currently has a live talk show every Thursday produced by the Broadway Podcast Network entitled My Broadway Memory. Some of his favorite performance credits include On the Town, Much Ado About Nothing, Sons of the Prophet, Toxic If Swallowed. He's also the creator of his one-man show, Moo with Me, which we'll see back in New York next year.
Yeah.
I love it. As a photographer, Michael has been featured in the New York Times, Vogue, the Tony Awards, and in publications in print and online nationally and across the pond. He's the creator of the Dressing Room Project, a photographic journal of actors preparing for their roles on Broadway. Michael has photographed Idina Menzel, Julie Andrews, yours truly, and many more notable artists. Had to throw that in there. And as a producer, Michael is one of the founding members of the musical Theater Factory, currently in residence at Playwrights Horizon, and an executive producer with the award-winning web series Indoor Boys. And and the short film, Michael and Wes's short film, I'm going to say it wrong, Save Me Please.
That's it.
That's it. Amazing. Michael's also proudly on the advisory board of Out of the Box Theatrics, Wingspan Arts, Town Stages. I'm exhausted reading all of that. I don't understand how you do all of that.
You're like, I do that?
I love that. So how are you? Where are you?
I'm in my apartment in New York City. I'm in Harlem. And I love this area. I love this time of year in New York City when it kind of gets revived. And there are beautiful trees outside of my building, and it looks very quintessential New York, my building. And there are trees outside, so it's a very pretty building. I love where I live, and I love my apartment. My boyfriend and I have created a really, really homey, comfortable space that we love. So quarantining, I'm very fortunate and privileged to be quarantining where I am with my boyfriend and my puppy. And so I have to acknowledge that, that I know that there are a lot of people that are in spaces that are less than, less than thrilling.
Yeah.
So I do have to say that, and you can always reach out if I could serve as a resource to make that better for you somehow. But that's where I'm at, and yeah.
Yes. Good. Before we get into all of the amazing things that you do, take us back to the beginning. What are your earliest memories of theater? How did you get introduced to theater performing?
Yeah, so there are a few different origin stories. I would say that the first one is my grandma teaching me stage right from stage left in front of the VHS of Mary Poppins. For those of you younger, don't know what a VHS is, I can actually pull it for you. Wait, can I? Do I have one? We might have put them away, but we have VHSs, and VHSs before DVDs. Some of you might not even know what a DVD is, but before it was there you go. It's a
there you go.
It's a big cassette with tape inside, and you just put it in and it played, and you would rewind it and fast forward, and And so I had my, you know, my Mary Poppins VHS, and I destroyed it because I watched it so much, and I just wanted to be. I destroyed my umbrellas, and because I just wanted to be Mary Poppins so much. And my grandma taught me stage right from stage left in front of that VHS, and I was hooked. She was a community theater actress in Douglaston in Long Island, and they did theater illegally. They would take shows, and I love it. I think it's very funny. They would take shows, popular shows, and rename the titles. So they did Funny Girl and called it Forever Fanny. Fiddler on the Roof was Peddler on the Stoop.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I have the program still, and I always, and she did Bye Bye Birdie once, and she was Mrs. McAfee, and she was so, I think, skinny from the medication she was taking, that at the end of her number in her mink coat, she gets down on her knees, and the mink coat was too heavy and she couldn't get up. And when she told me about that, the audience was laughing so much, and, you know, and I was like, that's what I want. I want to be that character actor, just like her. And that's kind of where it all started.
That's amazing. I still Peddler on the Stoop. That's amazing.
Isn't that funny?
So what, take us through your education then in high school, and if in college, did you study theater? Did you have other interests?
Yeah. So again, very privileged to have the experience that I had. I didn't come from a wealthy family, but I did come from a family that paid attention to what I wanted. I wound up being the first person in my family to graduate with a 4-year degree.
Oh.
So there's that. And I was bit by the bug pretty early. There wound up being an article in the newspaper, an ad for a theater company, a kids theater company, called Coral Springs Institute for the Performing Arts, Next Stop Broadway, that still exists, and I owe them everything. And they were doing Mary Poppins, and I was 9 years old, and my grandma said, "Do you want to do it?" And I said, "Absolutely." So my first show I wound up doing was Mary Poppins. I was cast as Michael Banks, and I was so hooked because it was this sense of community that I was so enamored by. And I fell in love with everything about the theater, because in this program, you made your costumes, you made the props, you even wrote the script, you did all of these things, and I was hooked from a very young age, all aspects of what that meant, of this theater production, being in it, behind the scenes, like everything, the casting, I loved it. And I stayed with them for about 5-6 years. And in the middle of that, I actually started working professionally. I started doing regional theater gigs and working in equity houses. And then I auditioned for a performing arts high school and got full scholarship for that. And then I went to Frenchwoods and started becoming that musical theater kid, you know, went to the sleepaway camp, and I did that. And then I auditioned for my musical theater programs. I auditioned for 16. Wow. I got into 3 or 4. I got into one of my top choices, Ithaca. That story is amazing because I didn't even get in because of my singing or my monologues or anything. I got in because of the warm-up, the body warm-up. I was just in, and it's very Ithaca. I was just in a car accident, and I was wearing a back brace, and they were so attracted to how I was so connected to my body during the warm-up that they were like, "He's in, we want him."
Wow. That's great.
Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And so then I graduated with BFA musical theater and moved, and the rest is kind of history. So
I love that.
there's
Let's talk about the multi-hyphenates. There are so many. So you were just finishing with that you graduated with your BFA. Take us down. Did you initially come to New York to be an actor? Did you have all these other ideas in your head? Had you already started taking pictures? That's a lot of questions at once, but.
No. I mean, I was like, when I moved to the city, I'm going to be a star. You know, I was like, I'm going to be a star. Because actually what wound up happening was I wound up booking really great gigs after college. I went to 3 gigs, literally taking my last bow and starting rehearsal for the next gig the next day.
Amazing.
So I graduated. The next morning, drove to the first day of rehearsal for the out-of-town tryout of On the Town. Bowed, stayed there for Much Ado About Nothing. Bowed, flew to Miami and did Sons of the Prophet at Gable Stage. The next day, rehearsal started, and then moved to New York City with my equity card. And I was like, I'm good, I'm golden. And then I never worked again. At least according to someone else giving me a job.
Okay.
So that's where the multi-hyphenate aspect comes in, because I had done I don't like to call it a survival job. I like to call it a for now job.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's only for survival. Sounds like we're struggling to stay alive. And that's not the case for many. So I like to say for now job, because if it's not the place that you want to be in right now, at least you know it's just for now. So I was working my for now job, which was washing people's hands at an Israeli skincare store called Saban.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was practicing photography, which I had picked up my senior year of college. And I was going to EPAs and ECCs, and nothing was happening. I had like 2 callbacks in like a year and a half, 2 years. And I really was like, well, why? And that's when my background in theater helped, because I was able to look at myself separate from my humanity. I was able to look at myself and go, what am I actually offering? What does my voice sound like? What do I look like? What's being produced? Would I ever think that I would get Jeremy Jordan's roles? No. You know? And then I went, do I even want Jeremy Jordan's roles? No.
Yeah.
You know, I want my own version of like Mel Brooks. I want Mel Brooks in 2020. And then I have to go, well, what's being produced? Nothing like that.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Well, we're kind of in an industry where no one tells you what to do. And usually the really cool things are what comes out of that need, that want of creation. Like, I have a story and I have to tell it. And that's when I, helped start Musical Theater Factory, because that was all about giving stories life. Mm. We produced new musical theater free from pressures of critical commercial success. So we produced new musicals for free. One of them being A Strange Loop, that just, Michael R. Jackson just won the Pulitzer for.
Yeah. Amazing.
We started it. That's where it started, was Musical Theater Factory. And just out of it's all about the need, the want to tell a story. And I wasn't able to do that in an audition room. So I stopped going to EPAs and ECCs, and I started working on stories that I could tell, whether or not that was from performing in them, writing them, producing them, or through photography.
How do you, I have a question from Sunny. How do you organize all your diverse artistic offerings?
Oh, sure. Sunny, if you could tell me the answer to that, that would be great. I have a very lucky situation. So, my boyfriend actually helps me with that. He's very good with scheduling, and I am not. But I will say that Google Calendars has helped. And just making lists and stuff like that, like knowing like my deadlines, but like my boyfriend has very much helped with my clients, and just like that alone, like scheduling the photo shoots and everything has helped. Immensely. but you know, if you know, that's the thing. It's like because people want to learn. If I didn't have my boyfriend who would want to do that, I could easily find a college kid, a recent college kid, and be like, I need help. If you want to learn how to start a business, how to run a business, if you want to learn about photography, I need you to help my schedule, and you could learn all that you want to learn. So there's, you know, there is a place for that, but it's kind of nice to have, you know,
yeah, some help.
do that.
Yeah, and Google Calendar. I live on my calendar. I absolutely agree.
I've learned so much about Google Cal through so many people. I'm just like, I don't know how to. It's so crazy. It's very helpful.
All right, let's talk about the photography, and specifically, at least initially here with headshots, we have a lot of young aspiring actors and actresses, and it can feel so daunting because, like, you know, even especially when you're starting out and you're non-union, decisions can be made off of that headshot, and it can feel so overwhelming.
Yeah.
So what are your tips? What are your, you know, any helpful? And you have such a unique style, which is so fantastic. But
Thanks.
what are some things that they can, you know, look out for?
Thank you. Above all else, and this is like the annoying thing, is that you want the photo to look like you. Now, this goes back to what I was saying about looking at yourself and going, what am I offering and what's being produced and all that good stuff. Now, Jeremy Jordan's career, right? Just pulling that name out of thin air. We have Jeremy Jordan's career. If I gave a headshot to a casting director, say, okay, Anna, say you were casting something, right? Mm-hmm. And you were looking for a Jeremy Jordan, a strapping leading man who could just do the pop tenor stuff and riff and command a show 8 times a week. And I give you a picture. I'm looking smoking. My jaw is chiseled. It is the right angle. I am small. And I give you that and you go, this is the guy. This is it. And I walk in 5'6". I'm like, hi. as how I walk in a room, like, hello, how's everyone doing? Yeah, okay, good. You know, it's you're going to go, I thought I had my person. This is not my puzzle piece. And this totally just screwed me up so much. You're never going to call me in again. You're right. Or you will, now that you know what's going on, for a very, very, very specific thing. But wouldn't we rather lead with a photo that goes, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to bring that person in for. He's that fiery, feisty, non-quotidian, approachable best friend that, you know, he might have witnessed a murder and now he's trying to cover it up. You know what I mean? You have to right. And there's so many shows on Netflix that are like, oh, it's that amazing, sweet, perfect boy next door, but he's involved with a murder. Like,
there's a dark side in there. Yeah, sure.
Like for instance, like a TV, like Santa Clarita Diet. Like there's that kid. He's really nervous, really geeky. He thinks, you know, he's straight A's, AP classes, but he's involved with like this zombie plot line, you know? And we need stories that say that in these headshots, and people go, well, how can I do that? That's so specific. And I go, yes, it is. And it's possible because I've seen it happen in my studio so many times. And it's not about what you're wearing. It's not about how your hair looks. It is about the story that's going on and what you want to convey. So why shouldn't you be acting in your headshot just as you're acting in the audition room or just as you're acting on stage? It all has to be combined. I have to see that connection on paper in front of me that's going to be translated right onto a Broadway stage or a camera. And that's all it is. That's all I'm asking you to do, is come in with those stories prepared. This look is, you know, he is the strapping leading man. gets involved with the wrong people, but is desperately trying to get out and is always looking on the bright side of life. That's this guy. And then you have the greaser, the greaser guy who's always looking on the negative side of life and is too involved with the you know, you have these stereotype of things, but you bring in yourself, and that's sort of what I look for in the studio.
Did you want to, you were going to share with us your website?
Yeah, okay.
So we can look at some, because you have some, I mean, some of your pictures, I mean, your pictures up there are just so fantastic. So
thank you so much.
We can look at a couple while we're talking here.
Yeah.
You've also, take us through the dressing room project. How did that come about?
Of course. So can you see my screen?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So here's my website.
Couple of low level actors right there.
Just some legendinas.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, these are just like the things that you would see when going to my website, and you know, yep. Just highlights of like what I do, or like the photos that have gotten the most response.
Sure.
You know? But let's go to headshots, right? And if you can notice one thing, it's that I don't make my one photo look like that's a Michael Kushner photography shot, because it's not about me. It's about you. And I want to be able to control the story that you're conveying. Like Alice Ripley, Tony winner. She had just chopped all of her hair off, and we wanted to show off that sage wisdom. Alice Ripley, Tony winner for Next to Normal. She is so vivacious and full of story and full of wisdom, that we wanted to get a photo that is exactly like that. And you know, Al went through a major change, a health scare, a health crisis, and ended up on the other side of things. And you know, we wanted photos that show that, how, you know, her power, her strength, her,
yeah,
you know, all that good stuff. So we have Jen Damiano and, you know, Randy Graff. She's the original Fantine on Broadway and Tony winner for City of Angels. She wanted a soul shot, something that is just plainly her and in this moment in life right now. And it's, you know, she calls this her soul shot, which I'm kind of obsessed with. So, you know, I mean, these are, Rachel,
right. None of like you said, it's about the actor. It's not about you. You get so much story and character from the pictures.
Right. Zach and Fonte over here, they're genderqueer and non-conforming. And so we wanted something that they could bring into a room that showed that off without being alienating, you know, something that was like, these are the ideas that I'm conveying. This is my personality, but I am moldable. I am able to do a lot of different stuff. I'm able to tell a lot of different stories. So, you know, we have this adorable shirt that they're wearing, and an adorable background, and it's very approachable, it's very bright, and it's very there's a lot in there with their face, their expression.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, oh my gosh, absolutely.
It's just one of those pictures. So
yeah.
Anyway, you know, that's not one
fantastic.
Thank you. And just, you know, proud of them. So that's, you know, exciting. And
yeah.
So now we have, and then I have like yes shots, which are not headshots, but, you know, personality and just like riddled with personality and all that good stuff. So, so the dressing room project, I guess what I would do.
Or if you want to take us to your,
Yeah, so that's my personal Instagram, but the dressing room project is I photograph actors prepping for their roles on Broadway. And that was an idea that started out when I was starting to combine everything, like as that's my boyfriend Remy, no, you're fine. And so as like as like the glue that like brings me together, being like, well, not just a photographer, I'm a theater photographer, and I'm also a performer and producer. So I want to be able to create a project by myself. I want to be able to explore the acting side, the performative quality of theater, and also document it through my art form of photography. So that's where the dressing room project kind of started. And I've been in some really, really cool spaces.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
You know, summer, and it's really interesting to see like what is popular and what isn't. Like Beetlejuice is very, very, very popular. Like Colleen and Todrick are very, very popular, you know. So it's kind of interesting. It's, you know, I really love photographing everything from like the very contemporary to like things that make me really, really giddy. Like here we have, you know, I'm the first photographer to photograph Jonathan Freeman, who's Jafar, the voice of Jafar in Aladdin.
In the movie, right. And the stage.
And plays him on stage. And that photo shoot took me 2 years to work on with Disney. I didn't get 2 years. And my screen name growing up, my AOL screen name was Jafar Fan 91. So I was determined to get this photo shoot to make that happen. And you know, it did. And like that's Sharon Wheatley, who plays Diane in Come From Away, and the real Diane in Come From Away. And that was the first time that Diane had been to the dressing room, and that was actually a surprise. Like Sharon didn't tell me that was happening and arranged it, and it was a really amazing photo shoot that I'll never ever forget. So that was really
it's just amazing, all these experiences. I hate to change tactics on you, but I do want to talk a little bit about my Broadway memory.
Yeah. So my Broadway memory is very exciting. Like let me get back to stop share. So my Broadway memory is like very exciting because that was an idea. So born during quarantine, what basically happened was I was like, I want to keep the Broadway memories alive. Like just because there's no performance happening, no Broadway happening right now doesn't mean that we can't keep talking, keep the discussion. So I pulled a playbill at random out of my collection and just talked about it. And someone, now a friend and my co-host, was like, I love this. I want to do this with you. And I was like, look, I have a lot of plates spinning right now. If you want to come up with a plan, let me know and I will make sure that it matches that vision and we'll do it. And we brought it to the Broadway Podcast Network that we both have podcasts on. And Dory and Alan, the producers behind the Broadway Podcast Network, are the most supportive, amazing artists out there. And they both were like, yeah, this is awesome. Let's do it. So we go live every Thursday. We pull the playbills out, but we have guests. We have like Broadway legends join us and do it as well. And it's very fun. We play games and we talk about seeing the shows that we, you know, and really traveling back in time. And there's some really awesome conversations that come out of there, but talking about an idea that was just born out of like, I'm going to post this on Instagram and let's see what happens. And now it's a show that thousands of people attend every week.
I love that. That goes along with this question we have. So Susan has a question. What advice do you have for young artists who are not sure what they want to do for a living?
Try everything. And find environments that like, what are you doing, baby? My dog's sitting at the door. Find environments that propel that, like French Woods, right? The sleepaway camp that I went to. It's a performing arts sleepaway camp, but they have the world's largest children's circus. And they have an amazing video department and photography department. And dance department, and you could try out everything there. You don't have to just perform. So you could try out all these different things and figure out what you're actually liking. In high school and college, like, you have the opportunity to come, like, if you have an idea, by all means, you should bring that to your teachers and professors and see if there's a budget in your school's program to help you get that. Like, in college, there were so many different opportunities that I did that wasn't performing. Like, I was the student liaison for the guest artist committee. So I was able to get artists from New York, figure out budget, and figure out plans to get them from New York to Ithaca and do master classes. So that was already producer brain being like, what's our budget?
Right.
What's going to be the cheapest way for the school and the most convenient for the artist? That's producer right there. Yeah. And so I was able to bring that to when I was working professionally in the city. And then also, every Sunday, I weaseled my way into the Park School of Communications because there was a show called Best of Broadway. And I listened to an episode, and, they were playing Defying Gravity and I Dreamed a Dream, and two songs that I loved from two shows. But I was like, no. I'm taking over. And I did. It became my show. And and
a radio show.
It was a radio show, WICB 91.7 FM in Ithaca, and I was able to work with the Hangar Theater, which was a regional theater an equity house out in Ithaca, and I would bring on stars of their shows onto the radio show. So it became a really cool thing, and now I use that brain into my podcasts. So just trying things, before you even know it, it becomes a professional aspect of your life. Before you even know it.
Amazing. I love that. I love the radio show. Riley had a question. What should I look for in a headshot photographer? I guess it's a little bit of what you said before, but maybe expand on that a little.
I think maybe, so I could talk for me, but Anna, maybe you can answer this, because like, when I look for a headshot photographer, so I'm in a weird predicament, right? Like, I am an actor, yeah, but I also have a lot of other things going on. So when I audition for something, I want to make sure that my personality is the biggest thing that shines through. And if I'm submitting for a project that I'm performing with, they're going to want me. They're not going to want a moldable actor. They're going to want my personality. They're going to want basically like Michael Kushner is going to do this, and he's going to bring those qualities to him. So my photos are a little more, the pictures of me that I use are a little more different. Mm-hmm. They're like more like personality, like above all else. But you need to work with a photographer that when you look at their stuff, it makes you feel something. It makes you be like, the way that person shoots, do those photos express something that you think that you can work with? Like, there, I don't want to, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without dissing other photographers, but I think when I look at some photographers' work, I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful photo, but what does it tell me about that person? Mm-hmm. It doesn't tell me anything. I'm more interested in the story. It's not like bringing props in, but it has to be in that moment in between that makes you wanting more. So I think that if it elicits a story, if it makes you feel something, yeah, then that's I don't know. What about you, Anna?
I completely agree. I mean, I think when I was looking for, I hadn't had new shots in a while, and within 2 days, talking to 2 different people, your name came up. And I had an immediate reaction to your pictures. I think there was something, I mean, besides the use of color, which I just adore, and I think how you do it is just so brilliant.
Well, sorry, go for it.
No, I think you're right. You have like and you know whether or not you like a picture in general, right? Like trust your instincts, and if you feel something, then someone will feel something as they look at your picture.
Also clientele, like I look at my website and I go, wow, I photographed all these people. I guess I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? Like, I guess people trust me a little bit. So,
just Julie Andrews. So no big.
so, you know, that's that, but also, prices, and like, you don't want to spend more than $1,000 on your headshots. You just don't. Why would you? Especially now in this day and age where you need to have your pictures taken once a year. Just because you do. Things move that fast. And now with social media and stuff, you need to have at least one photo shoot a year. But accessibility and prices is definitely, and color is something really interesting. So for my artists that are joining the industry soon, I want to tell you how you get an appointment for an audition. When you submit your headshot, or your agent submits you, or your manager submits you, it goes into a website where your headshot literally becomes a thumbnail. But let me tell you, it's not you against 200 people. It's not you against 500 people. For certain submissions, there can be 5,000 to 6,000 submissions. So that means it's your photo on a web page of 5,000 to 6,000 people. How do you get your casting director to click on your photo? And it's about the story. For me, it's about color. Color helps, but it's about that story. It's about going, hey, I'm offering you exactly what I'll offer you in the audition room, exactly what I'll offer you on Broadway or on set. I'm offering you in this photo, so click on me. And then before you even know it, that casting director is reading your resume and they have no chance but to bring you in. So that's the crazy thing when people are like, I haven't been in an audition in so long, like I haven't had an appointment. Well, that sort of has something to do with it. It's your headshot's not standing out in a sea of like 5,000 photos. So that's kind of a little into when you're picking your photo, it needs to stand out.
Yeah. Sadly, I'm at the end of my time. I have to ask you I know it's crazy, it went by so fast. I have to ask you my last question, which is at Camp Broadway, our motto is develop your character. And what does character mean to you? Yeah,
character means that you're always leading with good intention. So like, look, I love talking, I do, but I don't like being self-focused. I don't like it being about me. Whenever I talk about me, I try my hardest to make it about you and about how the things that I'm doing can help you, or how my energy can help you, or, you know, we're talking a lot about my credits and things that I've done, but my intention is that wherever I go, you will come with me, you know, and that's your choice too. Like, I'll open up the door for you. I will be a complete, like, I cast clients of mine in things that I'm producing, and that's your journey, is just to be open with me as I'm being open with you. And I just think leading with good intention is a sign of character. That's what it is, and that's what that is to me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking your time. Can you remind everybody where to find all of your things?
Yeah, so tonight is a live episode of My Broadway Memory, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. bpn.fm/My Broadway Memory Live. We have 2 Elphabas. We have Jackie Burns and Dee Rossioli. And so that's really fun. And if you want, what you can do is you can post a video of you pulling a playbill out, posting it, and tagging My Broadway Memory on Instagram, and we'll put it on the show. So you can get involved that way. So that's tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can follow me at the Michael Kushner on Instagram. For my backstage work is at the Dressing Room Project. For my like very businessy podcast, that's Dear Multihyphenate, and My Broadway Memory. So you can find me 4 different ways, and you can always reach out to me. I'm very, very reach-outable-y. You can reach out to me there. I will type
the other one there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do Dear Multihyphenate. These are all on Instagram. And you can always reach out, and I will respond very, very swiftly because, you know, quarantine. So, thank
Perfect.
you. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you all. Thank you. And make sure to follow Camp Broadway on all of our social media, our Instagram, our Twitter, our Facebook, all of that fun stuff. Join me next week, same time, for Michael Griffio, theatrical agent. He has so many amazing clients. I can't wait to talk to him. Michael, thank you. It was nice to see you again.
Thank you so much. Yes, you as well.
Everyone have a great week. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.